What is up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Flicking with Skip. I am here with my really good friend, Jack McLaughlin, who I rarely get to see, so we get to hang out. And we tonight are going to be talking about Cronenberg. We're going to be talking about the movie Weapons, and we're going to be talking about Jack. Uh, uh, let's pick up exactly where we were. The reason we started rolling is because we started talking about Cronenberg because he's of course exciting, an exciting guy to talk about. But what we were getting into was Eastern Promises with Viggo Mortensen and Naomi Watts. I believe that it was in the 2000s, 2007 is when it came out. And the reason that it came up is, first of all, this is an offshoot because this movie is not really a Cronenberg movie because it's directed by him, but not written by him. And you can tell that he's been paid by like a large studio to do this movie. So maybe not his choice of project, but he puts his balls into everything he does. He puts his genitalia into everything he does to be, non-gender specific. And that's a more apt expression, right? It includes everybody.
It does
The
include everybody,
certain amount of power does not belong in one set of genitalia. I just want to be fair.
right?
Um, so, and it has a really amazing shower scene, which is very different from what you would think from a horror director when you say shower scene. It's written as spoilers. Viggo Mortensen is in the Russian mafia, or Russian mafia in London, and they they've committed a murder, and they're trying to pin it on somebody, but they can't pin it on the boss's son who did the murder. So instead, they pin it on the guy who helped him with it, which was his bodyguard, Viggo Mortensen. And so to make this thing work, they give him the Russian stars to make him an admiral, and then they point him out in a bathhouse, and that's why it has to be in a bathhouse. It has nothing to do with
Of
the erotic
course.
imagery that happens in that bathhouse
Hey,
because
hey, he's naked. He's
Viggo
naked. That
Mortensen.
is erotic.
Well, you can tell from the very opening shots, like the way that he's wearing his towel, it's like that's coming off. Like it's weird that he's setting himself up that way. I don't know what's going to happen in this scene because I didn't know anything about it when I went into it. I'm like, that towel is coming off. And then the dude walks out all casually, the guy who casually murdered the dude for him. And he's like, we'll be right back. And then he's laughing to himself. I'm like, dude, yeah. And then he's sitting there like, yep, this towel is about to come off, y'all. Um, so I hope that was a suitable setup to that fight scene. What were your thoughts on it, man?
It is the only thing that I recall from that movie.
Which is, I mean, that is saying something because it's a fantastic like the plot culminates to it. So like this,
Everything leads up
yeah,
to
yeah,
that
like,
scene.
and then it leads out of that scene too. Now that's not actually true because the center of the movie, which I think is a really cool idea for like a premise for a film, his recurring theme, and actually what happens in the direct center of the film, is he says, well, her Naomi Watts' aunt says, we're ordinary people. We don't get involved with this sort of thing. And so that's really what the movie is about, how like ordinary life is happening, and then there's like gang activity that's happening like all around ordinary life all the time. It's like happening right under your nose, and you don't
Okay,
notice it.
I'm gonna stop you for 1 second
Yeah,
and
what's up?
just and say something about Naomi Watts
Okay.
because
She has
she
large nipples, and it's a
is.
little unsettling. Oh,
Oh my,
sorry.
okay. First, she's beautiful and weird, and
Yes.
she always gets chosen to be a normal woman.
Yeah.
She is the normal woman. However, anything but normal consistently happens to her in everything that she's in.
Right, but she has to be the ordinary person in it. Yeah, that's fair. Right.
She's just like she looks like if like I hate to say this, but like if you kind of like had to choose like a woman that could portray just like Americana normality,
Right.
like, you know, mom or working mom or just working woman. And also she's like beautifully plain.
Yeah.
or is she plainly beautiful? She might be plainly beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's like
Uh,
all of her aesthetics are correct, but none of them are overdone. I think is what you're saying. Like as far as like
yeah,
aesthetic beauty, we should point out for the point of this podcast that Jack is an artist, and so looking at things that are natural beauty is like key, right? Like what does nature look like? How does it present what beauty is? And then that's what
yeah.
humans like too. You need to present that. Um, if you want
So
them to think what's beautiful. And I think Naomi Watts hits that. Like all her features are in the right place and at the right proportion, which is a big thing to the
right, but
human brain.
I wouldn't. I like by no means would I be like, dude, Naomi Watts is hot.
Right. Like,
She's
like,
pretty.
yeah, but you're like, yeah,
She's
exactly. She's hitting exactly what pretty should look like, I guess, without being like too much.
yeah. Like if
Yeah.
you end up with her, like if that's the woman that you end up with,
We
you're
should all
like,
be
I'm
so
not
lucky, right?
mad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad,
Right.
but you're also gonna be that meme guy that's holding her hand and looking at someone else. Like, you're gonna love her because she's great.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I've never heard of a scandal from Naomi Watts, and when I see her in interviews, she seems to be a pretty chill lady, that
Yeah,
you would definitely want to hang out with. I think I was saying the same thing about Kirsten Dunst.
yeah.
I love Kirsten Dunst a lot. I don't think that I've ever enjoyed any of her roles in any movies, but I think that if I had the ability to get her on set to play a character, I totally would because she would be fun to hang out with. So.
And
You know,
you didn't
and
like
so
her
like I feel like the
in
same thing about Naomi Watts. Like you're like she's probably just super chill. Like comes in, gets the job done, has her lines memorized, hits the spots and the
yeah.
emotion when she needs to. And like you're like, yep, there's our lady right there. Thank you, Naomi. Here's your check. Royalties are coming to you. You know,
That's so funny.
those sorts of things. So yeah, Eastern Promises, as far as a Cronenberg movie, I think is really cool because it explores some of the same thing that he does normally, like that whole sexual perversion thing, right? Like he has it in all of his movies because he's kind of like
All
fascinated
of
with what creeps people out.
yes, but it's funny. Like all of his movies, like the ones that he writes and directs, they
Especially.
all have that. Like everything has that like weird sexual perversion.
Yeah, I
And
mean, we can even talk about Crash, right? Like Crash is just about getting in car accidents and fucking. Like, which, as
fuck it,
far as
that
a
is it.
concept for a movie, you'd be like, that'll never fly. And then somehow David Spader makes it work with Cronenberg behind him. Um,
James.
it's not a movie you need to see more than once, in my opinion, but like if
Dude,
you haven't
it's
seen it and you just went like, what? You should
I think that
definitely
was the
check that
first
movie out.
Cronenberg movie I saw.
Yeah.
I'm almost 90%, like almost 100% sure that was the first Cronenberg movie I saw,
Well,
and
it's
I
the most
saw it in
normal
the
of them, right?
theater.
Oh, wow.
Uh, it's is it nor? It's not normal.
No, well, it's not, but the most normal of them. Um, we can go down the list, but
Yeah,
let me real quick let's see with Eastern Promises. So the sexual perversion is a 14-year-old girl gets sexually assaulted by this mafia, and they try to kill her, and she escapes. And that's where Naomi Watts finds her, and then the girl has a baby. And they have to. One of the things is Naomi's trying to like, figure out what to do with the baby, and who the father
yeah,
is. And it seems to be linked to this guy that got murdered. And so like it's really fun because it's like a mystery, at the same time that the movie is going on. And so it's like a Cronenberg murder mystery. Um,
yeah.
yeah, which is an interesting take, right? And it doesn't really fit into all of them. So one of the things I found fascinating about the movie, is that there's this thing about the two main characters, the boss son and Viggo Mortensen, is that they have these
Mhm.
secrets together, right? And one of the twists is like you kind of see it coming. Like they set it up throughout the movie that it feels like something's weird with this bodyguard. Like he's just in the right place at the right time. He's a really good guy. Like he's just trying to earn the stars for a particular reason. And then you discover that he's working for the the current version of the KGB. right? And so like that makes sense now why he has all these skills. Spoilers out there for you guys if you want to do it. But then you find out at the very end of the movie that he's trying to overthrow the father, and so he's allowed this story to get out, the diary that they're trying to chase down this girl who was able to escape somehow. And so they were she so he did that because he and the son are in love with each other, or at least they're in a relationship together. Um, and so like
Oh man, I do not remember
you don't
that.
remember that? Okay, yeah. So it comes at the very end of the movie. It's like within the last like final frames, and it's like so they go to this place where they were going to dump the body, and he knows that the son has gone there because he took him there to like Vigo had taken him there before to like dump a body, and then he's about to throw the baby into this river. And so they come down and they have this emotional moments on the steps. And the line that turns everything like that towards the conclusion, the last like final moments, he says it's either your dad or me. Um, and Vigo's like holding the son. He's like, it's either your dad or me. And then he decides, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this together. So it's like it's like definitely not the story that you thought it was gonna be, even up to the final conclusion. And that's always a Cronenberg movie. That's why like I'm really excited to talk about him
Yeah.
because that was what
Well,
was happening with each and every movie. Like they were weird, and then they were like very human, and they also don't fly off the tracks. Like he's keeping them in tight control, which is why he can do movies like Crash, which don't really
yep.
make logical sense, but work in the framework of their own story. The end of Crash is they're
You don't think
fucking
that car
under a
accidents are
bridge, right?
horny?
Like in wreckage.
Yeah. Crashes are horny.
Yeah, Crash just make me horny to David Spader. Like what?
Crashes make me horny, like specifically very important crashes. So let's copy them and fuck.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I forgot. That's the twist. Is it's he wants to do famous crashes too,
He
right?
only does famous crashes. And
Like what
and
the
it's well,
fuck?
here's the thing though, is so this is also very Cronenberg, is that he uses the the sex part as, like, this is what I'm getting out of it. It great. Well, at least for that movie.
Hang on.
Uh,
Lay that out again. What?
okay, so basically in Crash, you have this group of people that are like super into these crashes. They're like, if you take that just as it is no different than, like, I myself have gone on like very deep dives of like the Manson murders,
Oh, okay, I got you.
or and
Oh,
then
right. You're
and
talking
then
about
you like,
reliving,
yeah,
like,
and you like go to relive it to the point where you like do like a shit ton of research on it, and you're like, okay, where was like Abigail Forger killed? How many times was she stabbed? Where was Sharon Tate? Was she in the living room? Was she in the bedroom? Like, what was she wearing? Like, how many times was she stabbed in the stomach where she was pregnant? And you're like, okay, you know what? I love these Manson murders so much that me and my friends are gonna reenact them.
oh my God. Yeah,
And
no, right.
these
And fuck,
and
because
these
it's a Cronenberg movie.
or yeah, but like some of those friends are well in the know that they're the ones about to get killed.
Oh my God. Right, right. Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
Because they're so into it.
Well,
And
and yeah, that would
then
actually that would make a
then the
great
people
Cronenberg
that
movie
live,
because they would be
yeah,
he would
but
actually there'd be a group of people who would want to do that.
yeah, but
That
that's
yeah,
Crash. Because
essentially.
there's the people that are just like, okay, well, I'll be Patty Hearst. It's Patty Hearst, right?
Patty Hearst, I
It's
believe,
the
was the
truck.
woman who got kidnapped. I think you're thinking of
Who am I thinking of? The
yeah.
decapitated one.
I'm gonna have to Google it real quick to tell you.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's funny too because if you can order muffins without a top, and they're called her name,
Oh my God.
and I can't think of her name right now. Um, it's still basically like, so the people, that are getting killed in the crash are, that is their ultimate ecstasy, is I'm going to do this. I'm so into this. I'm going to die exactly the way this person did because I love this crash. And then anyone that is also involved with it, sets it up or is in the crash or is like part of the truck or part of the car or someone else like involved in the crash that lives, end up fucking. And it's
Right.
almost like, okay, like you've had your ecstasy and it's now like bled off onto them physically, figuratively and metaphorically, and you're just like, okay, well now we're gonna fuck, like we're gonna get off on this. And it becomes a take on like fans,
On
or
what?
or like fans, like like
Oh,
uh fanatics,
yeah,
you know.
Crash becomes yeah, like that psyche of fanatics. And that's
Yeah,
also you're pointing out another really interesting thing about Cronenberg movies in general too, is that they have this concept lying underneath them, that you can see almost pretty crystal clear, like it's like right on the surface, and sometimes they'll even say it in the movie, like what like the point of the movie is, and
yeah,
he'll just explore that. And so yeah, he took like what rabid fandom looks like, and somebody who is like, this thrill seeker and like wanting to buy into the true crime. What was a true crime fan look like? And then what type of true crime is really, really disgusting because he loves that body horror.
yeah,
He loves to like terrify people with their own mortality. I think that's why he does
yeah.
body horror. That's just my take on what I've been seeing. Is that he realizes that people are most scared of death, and so he likes to like toy with them in that way.
Well, and I mean his first feature film, Shivers, which I love. I initially used to love it more than Rabid, but I recently re-saw Rabid, and I think Rabid, of the two, definitely wins. But the funny thing is Rabid is right after,
It's like, okay,
uh
I got you.
came
So
right
there's a
after
lot of the similar
Shivers.
thoughts.
Well, there's so many similar plots, and it's like he learned so much stuff from Shivers, and he was like, okay, what did I learn off of Shivers that I can play off of to make Rabid? It's
Gotcha.
like,
So those are two that I wanted to see, but I got some movies in. I got 4.5 movies in because I got to watch a student film also. But so
yeah,
break down Shivers for me because I've never actually. That's an early one, and this doesn't come up a lot when people are talking about Cronenberg. Believe you me.
most
Uh,
people, I feel like a lot of people don't actually uh, uh, know about that movie.
Yeah,
I
because I
mean,
mean,
if you're,
mainly they're talking right. The video drone, brood,
scan,
scanners.
scanners
There's one more that comes up a lot.
fly.
Probably one of his more recent ones. I think
Oh,
Shroud is
well, there's
mentioned quite a lot because it's pretty recent. Um,
Shrouds is very recent. That was
and
his most
also
recent.
it's like he's crystallized his style. But let's get back to that one. So yeah, I don't feel like it has been called out a lot. Basically, sum up the plot. What is it? What is his
Okay,
Cronenbergian world?
Shivers. Uh, Shivers takes place in a high rise, pretty much at the dawn of like living in a high rise. Like this movie was made in 1970, or it was released in 1975, and I mean the movie starts off with an ad trying to sell uh living in this high rise, and
Okay.
like how you don't have to leave, you can stay here, all you have to do is go downstairs to get
There's
your
the
hair cut,
Cronenberg I was looking for.
to
He
get
wants
your
it weird and
groceries.
dystopian.
Like you do not have to leave this building for anything, and the whole thing takes place in this high rise.
That's cool.
How
Okay. So low
it's
budget
great,
movie makes sense
super
filmed in
low
a low
budget.
budget place.
and it's just a little aside. If I remember correctly, too, he very similar to Romero. I think also came from like making ads. So to start his first feature film with an ad
Oh,
is just sort of like a joke.
gotcha. He's
I
like,
could be wrong.
that's interesting. I didn't know that about Romero, although it does make sense with his film style
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Uh,
So
we might cover Romero
so
at some point.
basically, what happens in Shivers is, like I said, you never leave this fucking building. You'll see exterior shots, but in the entire movie, if I remember correctly, you never leave this fucking building. And it sort of follows this group of like different people that live there, like going about their daily bullshit. But it's the 70s.
Okay,
What is
so
everybody
people
doing?
coming and
They're all
going,
fucking.
of course. Okay.
From people's apart, everybody that's coming and going is doing it from floor to floor, apartment to apartment, because they're all fucking. And the
Shivers.
the
Okay.
thing, the hook, the the Cronenberg thing
Yeah, yeah. This is
is
the thing I'm wondering about.
there's this fucking like slug.
What?
In fact, what the fuck it Slither. The creatures in Slither are very much the same creatures in
Oh,
Shivers,
so you
and
think that
and
it
they're
was an
like
inspiration? Okay, Slither, of course, I think is the worms.
absolutely
Yeah,
it's the
that.
worms.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
they're
And
like
it
a
is that's
they're
really is
like
a
a
creepy movie.
yeah, they're like 8 inches to a foot long, and they're just like they look like these pink slugs. But so these people get infected with them
Because they all just be
because
fucking each other, spreading this disease.
well, the slugs enter through orifices.
Of course. Oh, so what
So
better reason to horrify
so
people with the sex? Because they're like, ooh, it's sexy time, and then you see the slugs crawling up into people's anuses and stuff.
you see one, I think one of the first ones actually enters a woman while she's taking a bath, and of course it goes through her vagina.
Yeah, nice.
And but then in order for her to transfer it, like basically what these things do is they make people into sex zombies.
Ah, nice, Cronenberg. Way to
So
go,
so
buddy.
the so the building turns into a building full. It's a zombie flick. They're sex zombies,
And they never
and
have to
like
leave.
and when they go to like make out with someone, they will like essentially vomit up this slug into their mouth.
Oh my God. Okay, I
It's
see where the
disgust
horror
and
gets so
it's
much disgusting or more disgusting. Yeah,
so fucking
Cronenberg,
disgusting.
there's there's things that he does that make me so uncomfortable. And I think this is why he's always been kind of fringe, is because people don't like that when they feel
Oh,
that way.
well,
Um,
well,
so,
the other thing about Shivers is that on the surface, it is it's just a fucking zombie movie.
see, and I
You
would
know,
not have
it
expected that from the things that I've heard about Shivers, but I believe that, I mean, the way that you're describing it, it
no,
totally makes sense. That's a zombie movie.
it's just a fucking zombie movie. But when you really like look at it and pay attention to it, he's basically saying like, "Hey, all of this sex is leading to STIs."
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying about how there's always something simmering right beneath the surface of a Cronenberg movie where you're like, this is
Oh,
absolute madness. And then as soon as that clicks in your brain, it like flips towards you like a mirror and it goes, isn't it? Isn't the world you live in absolute madness? Isn't it insane that you're living in this type of world? And you're like, God damn it, Cronenberg. Like, you did
yeah,
it again.
because they're all like everything that he does has the almost like this. Maybe not everything, but like it does all feel like there's this tad bit of like futuristic feel to it.
Hmm.
it's like it's grounded in the time that it was made, but at the same time, there's something about it that has this like futuristic feel to it. Shivers has the high rise. It's 1975. Like the high rise was brand fucking new. Uh,
That's such an interesting thing
like
for you to say out loud. I hadn't really thought of that as a concept. I kind of like understood it in the background, but okay, yeah, okay. So he's playing with this thing
yeah,
where these communities, these false communities are being built and trapping people inside and leading to all this like degeneracy.
yeah. And then Videodrome has it's like what was that 81 or no, sorry, 83. Um, is about television
Yeah.
and like broadcasting into your fucking head.
Specifically. Yeah,
And and
exactly.
and then what is it doing to you?
And yeah,
Also,
and
do not watch that movie while tripping because
it's not, yeah, it's really, I mean, I wouldn't suggest casually putting on a Cronenberg movie, especially under some hallucinogen, because it will make you think some thoughts.
uh,
And
yeah,
they're like it's gonna hit you on a bunch of different levels because he's already doing
a
that to a
bunch of
normal
different levels.
person. So if you're like
Um,
hypersensitive to that, you're gonna see some shit. So
yeah,
yeah, 100%.
Existence is
That's such a fun movie.
man, I it's such a fun movie, but
See,
it's
that
fucking
was
about
my
video games.
introduction to Cronenberg was Existenz. So I was like, oh, what a cool, fun sci-fi dude with a weirdo bent, you know? Um,
Yeah,
and then you start
and Jude
exploring
Law
more
is
of it
hot.
because there's not so much like darkness, I feel, in Existence, except for the spoilers, he's dead, right? Um, it's his death dream.
Except for the spoilers, everything's fucked up.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. No, no, no. I was thinking of a different movie. Existence is where it turns out that he's doing a VR test and you don't realize he's doing a VR test or an AR
Yeah,
test. Basically, yeah, he's in an alternate reality in his mind. And then he comes out of
yeah.
that one only to realize that that one was also an alternate reality, right?
Well, Existence is Inception before Inception. It
There you
is
go.
a
Okay, yeah,
better
yeah,
version of
100%.
Inception.
And that was the right. So I'm like watching this movie and being like, this is hella trippy. Like absolutely, like I like this guy as a director. Not realizing that I had seen The Fly before, and that was the same
Right.
director, and I had seen Crash before. But that was the first one where I'd really like noticed him because I thought he was fun.
And one of the biggest things that I remember from Existence, other than the fact that, Jude Law's in it,
Oh wait, that was the first thing I
it
forgot to mention.
is that he, the restaurant scene, he orders this food, orders food.
Right.
You don't know what the fuck it is. He eats it.
Because it's like mutated, like animal turned inside out or
It's this
something like that.
mutated it's this mutated fucking creature, and he eats the meat off of it and then uses the bones to create a bone
Weapon.
gun
Yeah, yeah, the bone gun. Oh my God.
that is that is also used in fucking Videodrome.
The bone
He
gun.
uses it. It's basically the same fucking gun because it's part of him, and he could bring it through fucking security because it's made out of bones.
Bone.
But it's
Yeah.
also just like, why is this sexy? Why is this disgusting thing
Right,
kind of
right. And
kind
you
of
do have to
fucking
say that about
hot?
Existenz. Yeah, is that, I mean, it has the same kind of feel as like a superhero movie, right? Like you're like, this is
Yeah.
fun, it's cool, yeah, sexy, we getting
So
out
that gun is
doing
not
it.
a spoiler. It is literally on the cover.
Yeah, but also you don't know any of those things. And we don't care much about
Yeah.
spoilers here.
I don't.
I mean,
I
like if
don't
it,
care
it
about
came out
spoilers.
recently, maybe we'll warn people, but yeah, no.
Um,
Yeah,
but
so right. It's so funny. Like most people be like weird directors, like, say like Tim Burton, right? Seems like only able to do weird things. But then you see Cronenberg, and he's able to do weird, but then also if he wants to, he can make it cool. Or also like in Eastern Promises, he can make it a crime drama, or he can go
yeah, but
full horror on you. or he can do, just all these different versions.
The difference is that his has a meaning other than the fact that it's just fucking weird.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so
Like
of course he can do that.
there is there
I
is
think
always a
Tim
deeper
Burton is mainly a style choice, right?
meaning.
Not an actual like an idea that can
Correct.
support
Yeah,
the rest of the
Tim
story.
Burton's very the reason you know Tim Burton is style only is because Disney bought him and he's just Disney now.
Right.
And ever since that, his movies have sucked.
Well, I mean,
To me,
yeah, no,
I do
yeah,
not.
there's arguments to be made that there isn't a good Tim Burton movie that it's coming from himself. Like he's been forced to do good movies through the work of other
Yeah,
people, I feel. But when Tim Burton is left to his own devices, in my opinion, he doesn't do well at all. He just like basically like jerks off his own style on you, and then you're supposed to be happy
yeah.
about it. But he doesn't often give you more beyond that. This is the same
No, I
thing.
mean,
I know you love Star Wars, but this is the same thing I feel about most of Star Wars. Is like George Lucas being like, "Look at all the things I can make," and you're like, "Yeah, cool, that's really good."
absolutely, dude.
Yeah, what else
Star
you got
Wars is
going
a
on here? And he's like,
terrible movie.
"Nothing."
I love that
I'm
movie.
like,
It's not a
yeah,
good
you made some
movie.
good special effects for sure.
I mean,
Sorry, all those
like
people out there
no,
with your Star Wars
it's
ness.
totally fine. But like, the Star Wars joke is Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill on set, and Mark Hamill, doing his first fucking movie, and he's like, um, "Hey, he just came out of a trash compactor. Shouldn't we be wet?" And and Harrison Ford looks at him. He's like, "Dude, we're shooting lasers in space. Just roll with it."
Right?
And like I'm paraphrasing, but that's exactly
Fair,
what it's like,
fair.
dude. Come on, man. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
And as we
he can't
found
even
out,
get space right.
yeah, like Mark Hamill is a very, very serious actor. Like we have, I believe most people can at this point, with his career, respect him for what he's capable of doing as an actor.
For
Um,
sure.
and Harrison Ford has definitely been able to deliver like the fun ride of everything. So yeah, I can see how that would be both of their responses to that sort of
Yeah.
thing, where he's like, I want to make a
Yeah.
real movie, and Harrison Ford's like, bro, come on, just take the paycheck, do the
It's
stunts,
just take the freaking pitch.
like don't
You'll
make it
get
harder on
big.
them.
If this goes good, like, hey, what do you become? And sure enough, we got the Joker out of it.
Yeah, right. Oh, and a very fantastic Joker out of it.
Yeah.
Way much higher value than any of the Star Wars we've ever gotten from Mark Hamill. Again, that's just saying the
Right.
same thing. Like, I'm sorry, I was saying about Kristen Stewart from the Twilight series. Like, I'm so glad that she got to have a career past Twilight because that's the lowest point of that career, in my opinion.
Okay.
Kristen Stewart
So
is amazing.
speaking
Sorry,
of
the
Kristen
spinoff from
Stewart,
Cronenberg. Is she in any Cronenberg
no,
movies?
she is. She
What?
is. That's why I'm bringing it back.
Oh my God, I've missed
Okay.
one.
Missed one of the most recent ones. So she's in the 2022 Crimes of the Future.
Okay, and this is the
Uh,
movie that I did want to see. It was right next on my list. I wanted to see the two of them that have the same title.
okay, the first time I watched that movie, I fucking hated it.
Okay, fair.
And
First of all, why did you hate it?
I have a feeling it was because I was watching it way too late, and
Ah,
I just like wasn't fully like immersed in it.
yeah, that's one
And
thing I noticed. You can't half-ass. I was gonna try to watch like my phone while I was watching a movie, and I was trying to like also take notes while I was watching movies, and
no,
I had to
like
pause the movies because Cronenberg is the visual, the soundtrack, and the dialogue. They're all together, and they're making you pay attention. And if you're not, you're gonna
yeah,
miss the
and
movie. So if you're trying to watch it in the background, don't bother. Just put it on when you have time to watch it. So fair point.
and both Crimes of the Future and the Shrouds are slow.
They're
They're slow movies.
Oh yeah, they're slow.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Shrouds is a crime drama sort of. I want to get into it later, but let's keep talking about Crimes of the Future.
so Crimes of the Future, like the first time I saw it, I was just like, I saw Kristen. Stewart come onto the screen, and I was like, are you fucking serious? Like her? And she plays this just like distorted person that she just, you could tell she just doesn't fit in with anyone.
Hmm.
Like she's sort of stilted in the way she talks, and she like won't look you in the eye because
Hmm.
she's too focused on what she's trying to do.
Okay.
And yet, even though on first watch I hated that movie, I was like, oh my god, Kristen Stewart was fucking awesome.
And I will agree with
But
you. And everything I've seen her in, and even if you understand her motivation in Twilight, in my opinion, also a stellar performance. But break down Crimes of the Future for me a little bit.
given what she was given.
Well, first of all, given what she was given and the direction that she was given, once you understand that she was told to be an ordinary character in those movies so that people could relate to her, then you begin to understand like why Kristen Stewart is who she is in that movie. She's 100% relatable and she's playing it to her absolute best, even though she's getting
Yeah,
wasted with Robert Pattinson as often as possible so they can just survive the experience together.
yeah.
So
Um,
what's the storyline in Cronenbergness of Crimes of the Future?
Crimes of Jesus Christ.
If
The
it helps, you want to pull up a wiki?
No, I did already pull it up.
Fair.
But
Okay.
I'm gonna try to go off my head first.
Okay.
Is to basically start off. Um, it, this You see a child eating plastic. He's literally eating a plastic waste bin, and
That's the
the
opening shot.
mother. This is the opening sequence.
Hell
Is
yes.
this
I mean,
is
he
this
really kills. I think in almost every movie that I saw, even his first the student film Stereo, I just wrote hell yes, what an opening shot because he really does
Yeah.
get you immediately. Okay, so kid eating plastic.
So there's this kid sitting in the bathroom floor holding the trash bin, and he's eating it. And the mother comes in, gets mad at him for doing it, and says, I told you to stop eating this. And she gets so fed up with him that she just kills him.
What?
And she kills her child.
In the
This is
opening
the
sequence?
opening. This is the opening sequence.
Motherfucker. Like I said,
She
Cronenberg, goddamn sometimes, man.
she kills her child and then calls his dad and says, "Come pick up your thing."
Oh jeez. Who's the
Not your
mom?
child. I don't recall.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
do not recall.
That's okay.
She's
That's totally fine. These are just
Yeah, she's
questions that
not.
I okay. Sorry.
Yeah, she's not really in it.
Okay.
And then, um, it goes over to Shocker Viggo Mortensen,
Okay. Cool,
who is
cool.
who is like in this uh uh chair. It's a chair, and the chair like moves him around in this like distorted, janky, very Cronenbergian sort of way, and
Okay.
it's supposed to help him digest because he has trouble digesting regular food.
Okay, one thing
And
that we haven't called out in all the movies, because this is one of the things that it's either don't trust doctors or most of science is super unnerving and weird. That's a very common
yes,
trope in Cronenberg,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
should have called it out because I mean we've been pointing it out like as a reference, but like in case you're wanting to like understand what more of like what Cronenberg is, that's 100% it. So all science kind of works wonky like that chair. Okay, fair. Also, we didn't mention that Viggo
So
Mortensen is a common friend of Cronenberg's because he gets to do fun things when he
like
works with
he's
him.
become the new James Spader.
Yeah, well, and that's
Like,
awesome. Yeah, because he can do those things. You know what I mean? Like in Eastern Promises, he's pulling off a Russian accent and this character that has like a lot of depth. So I'm sure it's fun for him to play him.
yeah,
And so we cut to him and he's getting shaken. Um, What is he in the, or who is he the dad of the kid who got killed?
No, he is part of a performance artist duo
Oh my God.
that they he is the one operated on. This is the performance art is he is the one operated on where this
Medical horror,
woman
body horror.
that he works with, yeah, it's like this biomechanical device kind of
God
thing.
damn it. Of
Both
course, Cronenberg. This is
both
the
the
sort of shit that
chair
makes me
that
so
helps him eat.
uncomfortable.
Well, the thing is he has trouble digesting normal food.
Okay.
So he uses this chair to digest food, but it, his body creates new organs, and
Shit. Of
they
course, Cronenberg.
they
Um,
they basically do like live surgeries in front of people
where they cut out his
and
extra organ.
remove these organs.
Fuckers. I
And
mean, seriously, this
they
is just so
they
fucking gross.
they find out about this child, and he's like, and someone says, someone basically comes up to him and says, "Can you do a live autopsy of this child?" And he's like, "I don't understand why." It's because there's a group of people. There's more than a group of people that they cannot eat regular food. They can only eat plastic because their body has evolved to
Oh,
only digest plastic.
plastic.
And
That's
and
really interesting. So this is
and
a more modern movie, more modern take on the movie. You said the 2000s, right? Um,
oh yeah, this was the second to last movie I made.
okay, so this is
This
this
is
is the 2020s somewhere in that range.
this was
Uh,
2022.
okay, thank you. And so of course he's tying in a modern thing like he does in all of his movies. They really do tell about the time. Like you're talking about the skyscraper is the plot of where Shivers takes place. The Brood is
Yeah.
about how psychology has to be something that you like watch very carefully because some psychologists or psychiatrists can be like out of control, which is a burgeoning thing at that time. So in this movie, he's dealing with microplastics and the fact that plastic is a huge problem that we've created on the planet. And so, humans evolving
It's
to eat it.
killing us.
Yeah, it's killing us. So, and the mom actually did, Mother Earth probably is the image, killed the child because of the plastic.
Well, and there's also this like the same group
Oh,
of
and
people
crimes of the
that want.
future. I apologize. It makes sense now because he's saying the crimes that we're leaving for the future.
Yeah, it's
Interesting. Again, a
insane.
really deep
And
idea.
it, like there's the group of people that want him to do this autopsy. Uh, they make these bars. They make this bar. You see them eating this like disgusting looking wrapped bar of some kind.
Okay.
It looks very similar to the bar in like the food bar in Snowpiercer.
Okay. All right.
And the first time you see somebody eat it, they die.
Huh.
But then you see somebody else eat it and they're fine. And
Okay.
you basically find out what these things are made out of, and it's toxic waste.
Jeez. Fucking hey, dude. What am I going-
But people 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 are evolving into being able to digest toxic waste.
Ah,
And
man.
it's said, dude, it hits on so many different fucking levels
Right. I mean,
because
that's
it's like
again Cronenberg, where it's like you are being horrified, but like you're also being intrigued by a story, and then you kind of get like spooked at like the nature of our existence at the same time. And so like he's just like he will be messing with you. like
But
in
he
in
also gives an
stereo.
answer in that, like, Mother Earth, as you say, has like made humans evolve to be able to handle it.
Right, right.
Took a while. It took a while. It took a while, but is the thing is it's like, is that where we're fucking headed? Like, are we headed to the fact that people? Is that why people have pica? Like,
Right? The
seriously,
desire
like
to
my
eat, yeah, foreign objects. Um,
yeah,
right, because they're attempting to evolve. Yeah, no, I was wondering, I was wonder as in not like like amusing over, but actually in the sense of like I had wonder over the fact that how like complex creatures exist, and it's such a cool thing because when adversity strikes it, there's the adaptations that survive. Um, and it's just like, like how that's built into the nature of reality. And I was like, man, like that's just so. But like, of course, so this movie is like, yeah, if that's the case with humans, then pretty soon we're gonna be doing this. We'll eat the bar of toxic waste.
yeah.
Thank you, Cronenberg, for taking space in
Thank
my
you,
brain.
Cronenberg. And then his wife died, and he made the Shrouds,
Yeah,
which
right.
is
Okay,
which is
so very,
uh,
very interesting movie. It
I need
it
to see it again.
it's
Absolutely
so
need to see it again.
damn, it's like so biographical it feels. And then at the same
It is.
time, like I said,
And the
it's like
main character looks and dresses exactly like him.
he does.
When I saw
Also, if you
that
guys want to see
movie,
what he looks like, you can watch Star Trek Discovery. He's the one who's at the headquarters of the new Starfleet. That's David Cronenberg. Which was
when
a fantastic nod. Like just why? I mean, why not, right?
yeah. Also, okay, so in the Shrouds, the main character is played by Vincent Castle, who
Yeah.
in and of itself is, if I remember correctly, isn't like Vincent Castle in fucking Irreversible, one of the most fucked up movies ever fucking made.
Well, okay, there's that. Also,
Um,
you're missing the whole thing that he's more known for, I think, to the international audience, which is Mesrine. I think I'm saying the name wrong, but he's a detective. There's a whole series of detective movies starring Vincent Castle. Um, and
yes, yeah, I
yeah,
think there is.
yeah, 100%. I've seen them because used to be cool and send you discs of movies that you couldn't get anywhere else. And now they're fucking lame because they only stream like the most mediocre bullshit that you've ever seen in your entire life. I'm gonna have to bleep that out, but I will also I will stand by that fact. I'm not trying to get a lawsuit. But motherfuckers used to be a fucking cool service, and now they're just like, I don't know, practically the worst. Again. But so yeah, I got really into that
So
series of action films, which is the solving a crime, and that's what Shrouds is intending to be, right? Like the solving of this crime of who desecrated the grave. Um,
so
that
the thing is yeah, the
Oh, and then
Shrouds
also,
was
I'm sorry,
supposed to be a television show.
my personal favorite, Guy Pearce, is in there as well. And his breakout role, although he'd done stuff before, was Memento, which is solving the mystery of his wife.
Yeah.
What happened to his wife, and so like I think Cronenberg cast those two actors together intentionally, so he set our expectations for a murder mystery that was like of a different sort. Anyway,
It's
I really
already
apologize for cutting you off and butting in. Jack, your thoughts on Shrouds?
You're all good. You're all good. So he's used Vincent Castle before. Vincent Castle's in Eastern Promises. Um, and
Where is he in Eastern Promises?
it's in Eastern Promises.
Really? I mean, I
Yeah,
don't like if you're like seeing it on the wiki or whatever. I'm like, holy shit! But like, huh?
he's I can't say that name. Kirill Semyonovich.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why he's not recognizable because the dude's the only thing that happens to him. He gets his throat slit in the beginning of the movie and then gets put in a
Yeah.
freezer and thrown in the water. So, okay, I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry, Vince. I missed you, bro. You didn't get a chance to speak. Yeah.
the so the the only time that I saw the Shrouds, I saw an early screening of it,
Okay, cool.
and Cronenberg was there. And
Oh, cool.
so
Did he talk
we,
about his like the
dude, it was a total side note. It's if anyone listening to this wants to go and just read an insane subreddit, look up David Cronenberg Music Box Q&A. The person that moderated it did such a terrible fucking job at everybody's letterboxed reviews about that movie from that night. Talk about how fucking awful the Q&A was.
oh
It
my
was
God.
so bad. It
Oh
was
my God.
so bad
You were
that
there for this?
and
This historical
I
event?
was there. I was there for this historical event. And she apparently, so I'm friends with people that work at the Music Box. Apparently, when she was leaving, she went up to one of the managers and was like, I don't think I can ever show my face here again. And he just kept his mouth shut, just sort of like nodded at her.
Oh my
Like,
God.
she didn't ask a single fucking question about a movie or his movies or anything that anyone in the fucking crowd wanted to know.
What did she ask
He
about?
was, dude, she fucking asked him what his favorite fucking smell was.
Oh my fucking
She, dude,
what?
he
Oh
fucking
my God.
played
I
it
can't.
in stride.
I'm
I
sorry.
give this guy,
What?
dude, I give him so much fucking credit because he was so good about the whole fucking thing, but you could tell he was pissed off.
Of course.
And she's like, at one point, she like, they're sitting up on stage together, and you could tell she wants to fuck him. Like, you could just fucking tell. Like, she's like wearing like this short skirt. She's leaning forward, like just all these like telltale signs of like, hey,
Yeah.
can we fuck?
Yeah,
It's
she
like,
like down.
dude,
Yeah.
we just, hey, calm down, girl. We just watched a movie where he's clearly dealing with the effects of his wife's death.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's
Like,
probably what he's there to talk about since he's decided to show up
yeah,
after the screening of this movie where it like it goes he deals with his wife's death. So
yeah,
if you guys
and
haven't
he,
seen Shrouds, this man, Vincent Castle, develops this way that you can watch the body rot in the grave, so you can keep the person close to you. And then the grave is desecrated, and I have to try to figure out who it is and who's done it. So that's just so you guys know how it deals with his death. Um, so okay, that's so funny. I didn't know all these backstories though, and I'm so glad that you were there when you're like, oh my
yeah.
God, girl, like get yourself
So
together.
we all watched this fucking movie and we're all like, God damn, I want to know more about this movie. I want to know like why he made this, like,
Yeah,
why did he do it this way? And like all these things, like
the reason you were there
there's
for the
like,
movie.
yeah, we're there for the fucking movie and we're
That
there for the Q&A. Like,
yeah,
oh my, like this is a fucking once in a lifetime fucking thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm never going to see a Q&A with Cronenberg again. And this woman fucking ruined it. And at one point, like early on, she's got a stack of fucking note cards and she's like, okay, I'm going to do like a little like lightning round here. And he's like, okay. Like, mind you, she's barely asked him anything at this point. And the first thing she asked, she's like, "What's your favorite smell?" And he's like, "What?"
What?
And she's like, "What's your favorite smell?" And he's like, "No."
He's been like, no.
And she's like, "Well, what do you mean no?" And he's like, "I can't answer that question
Right.
because if," and he's like, "If I answer that question, I'm lying." And
Huh.
now that lie is out there and perpetuated by everybody in this theater. And he's like, but it's just the first thing that came to my mind. So, no, I
Huh.
refuse to answer that question.
Interesting.
And he's cutting her down in front of 700, a sold out fucking show,
Right, right.
700 people, to the point where some of the staff that were able to like leave their posts were like inside watching this.
Oh my God.
And she realizes that he's not gonna fucking answer this question, and she quickly like flips through her fucking cards,
She's
flips
like,
them upside
what's your second favorite smell? What's your third
flips them
favorite
upside
smell?
down and puts them back down on the table and tries to hold it together and do some sort of Q&A and just fucking fails miserably. And
Ugh. I feel
and
so bad for her because you know he's like, oh no, what do I do now? Right? She can't improvise,
how do
or
you fuck up a Q&A with one of the most prolific fucking directors?
right? Yeah, you would think.
Oh, dude, I am not a fan of like audience questions. They usually are just shitty. You know,
Right,
it's usually
fair.
like
They haven't
some
done any
new
research.
burgeoning director, and they're like, "What's it like to direct?" Like, shut up. Like, but honestly, I would have preferred that as a fucking
Right.
question
Right. Yeah.
over what
Like,
this fucking woman did. So, anyway, one of the first things I noticed when he like came out is he looks I mean he's himself, he's just dressed like himself, but I was like, wait a minute, this movie's clearly about him because Vincent Castle looks
oh, oh, okay,
exactly
gotcha. That's why
like
you said that. I
him.
didn't. I was like, I can't think of like a particular Cronenberg outfit, although he does have a particular look. But then I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't think
it's
about that when I saw it, and then I kind of think about it. But I'm sure right after you see a movie, you're like, oh wait,
it's
that's him. That's the
it's
outfit.
literally Vincent Castle in the Shrouds is what David Cronenberg looks
That's
like.
interesting, and it may have been intentional, but most likely not. Like it was just like he.
I
I
think
mean,
it's completely intentional.
no, no, no. I mean, I'm sorry. I meant to say the outfit that he was wearing that night may have been intentionally mimicking the movie, but most likely not. It's likely the other way around, which is that
Oh
character
yeah,
represents him. I said it completely backwards, so I know that your response was on cue, but
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was
No,
not.
that's just like this is just the way this dude fucking dresses.
Yeah. So.
Um,
Hang on real
but
quick.
like,
We're going to take a quick break just so I can shout out the show. We haven't had a chance to do that. We kind of hit the ground running because we had such a great green room. So I just need to call out some of the things that we're supposed to do on this show. So that you remember that this is a Cox and Space podcast, and we are here on Flicking with Skip as I am working on the animation for Cox and Space. So you guys get to follow along and watch the process as it's happening. You can always check in Drawing with Jack Tuesdays and Thursdays on our Discord. You can watch him do the artwork before it gets to this stage.
different Jack, not this Jack.
Yeah, not that's this Jack. We'll definitely get to this Jack. Drawing with Jack, of course, is Jack Haynes, our illustrator, and then we have a show on Saturdays, more of the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, which is just called Chandler, where we hang out with our composer and talk about all things life that's going on with us, perceptions of reality, music, of course, and we get to reveal his new projects and new Cox and Space projects as they come out on Chandler. So fun times on the Cox and Space podcast. You can check us out at coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. And just go check us out up there. You can get connected there into our Facebook, which we like to talk about interesting things with interesting people. And that is why Jack McLaughlin, my good friend, is here tonight. We're talking about Cronenberg. He did not get connected to the Facebook, but you can. Aaron Coswell is very accessible. Just reach out to him, tell him the things that you are interested in, and we'll get connected that way. You can also get connected with our Discord, follow the Discord link, and watch the shows live. Hang out with us in the green room so you can find out all the things we joked about before we got onto the actual podcast, which you will never know. That's just between me and my boy here. That we're like, dude, we better just start this podcast because we're already having a blast right now. You can do that if you're hanging out on the Discord. And then we generally have like a post show too, where we just like chill with people who are there. And while it's going, you can ask questions and be a part of the process as well. So that's the two fun things. And then we have a Patreon, which you can get connected with. You can help keep us funded. So keep our server going for our website, to keep our pets fed, to make sure that our animator has plenty of digital nubs to continue to put down, and you get access to hidden early episodes. So all of Chandler's behind the scenes episodes that he's posting, you get access to those. When people get too spicy for YouTube, or this content that we can't show there because of licensing reasons, you get to see those up there, and they also come out early, so like a week early. You get to watch them up there too. You get to become part owner of the show, and you get a percentage of the show when the show finally pays out. So that stacks up. The lowest you can pay is $5 a month, and then after that, you can put in, whatever you want to. So that's one way you can get involved. But we're going to get involved with Jack McLaughlin right here and continue talking about Cronenberg, who was our guest. Jack, you have any socials you want to shout out?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
My Instagram, for me is mixedmediajack, all one word. And you can also find me on my website, which is mixedmediajack.art.
Oh, fantastic
If
website.
if
Yeah.
you want to look at my stuff.
And let's take a quick segue real quick just to talk about why you should look at Jack's stuff. I own one of Jack's pieces, for one, just so you all know. It's fantastic. I've known Jack as an artist for a very long time. We won't necessarily call it, but it's almost 2 decades, I think, is what it comes up to. And he's been
I
doing
think it
art
is
for,
almost 2 decades.
yeah. Jack, how long have you been doing making like the art that you've been making? I know you went to school for it.
So, oh man, I the art that I have been making is probably I'm just gonna say 2003.
Okay, so you're talking about the newest style that you're doing now, like the
Newest style, I would say, started evolving. Uh, maybe 10 years ago.
okay, yeah, that's
Um,
right. That's the phase that you're in now, and then also, but you came from the roots that you're saying from 2003, because that's when you
yeah,
started
like
like building more projects.
well, it's like when I graduated college, I was, finally able to do my own thing.
That's wild,
And
dude, because I moved to Chicago in 2003. Um, and I think it was like the end of it or beginning of 2004, something like that. So you had just started doing that when I met you, which means I've been kind of watching it as it's been evolving, getting to hang out and whatnot.
pretty pretty much, I'm honestly I'm going back. I'm literally trying to figure out
That's
like
so crazy. I didn't,
when
yeah,
when
because
what
all I
year
know is
we
like, I
fucking
mean,
met.
you had so many materials. Let's see, but it must have been later than that because I've been in Chicago a few years. I
Hey,
think I
we
was
met in
22, turning 23, so I'd been there
we
for,
met in '06. We
there
met
you
at
go.
the very end of '06.
That makes sense. Oh six. Yeah, so that
So,
means that you had been doing it for a while, about 3 years.
uh, I'd been doing it for like 3 years. I was very much still in my like I just graduated. Everything is dark and yellow and like
Oh, that yeah,
gross.
that punk grunge style that you went through is definitely like deep in
Yeah,
my heart, one of my favorite styles. Um, but
but
it's
the funny thing is that without it, I still would not. I don't think that I'd have gotten to where I am now.
right, yeah, I mean exactly
Like,
like, and that's what I love about the most recent phase that your work has been in is that it shows your roots still, but it's done like entirely on purpose, and you can tell that every move that you make in those paintings is meticulous. So there's no
yeah,
wasted brushstrokes. And so that's one of the things I love about it. And they're all very large. If you guys haven't looked up mixedmediajack.art, you should. You should go there right now just so you know what we're talking about. But they're large art
um,
pieces. And so seeing them
and
is overwhelming. And then you can get real close and there's a bunch of details that you can see in them too. Like you can stare at one of Jack's paintings for hours because there's a lot to look at. And that's not
um,
like an exaggeration. The reason I own the painting is because I saw it online and then I saw the little details and I couldn't stop thinking about all the stuff that I knew was in that painting. And I have in my own home stared at this painting of all the little details that you can look at.
I it's for reference. Like one of my friends bought one of my more recent ones. And it was like one of my circular ones,
Oh, nice. That's
and
right. I saw that.
it's hanging in his um uh basically like massage room, like he does massage, and he won't touch it. Like when he moved, he literally called me up and was just like, um you he's like, can you help me move? And I was like, yeah, like I've helped him move like 3 times. He's helped me move like 3 times.
That's
And
awesome.
he's like, honestly, there's not much to move. He's like, there's just one thing in particular I need you to move. And I was like, yeah, it's that. He's like, the painting that I bought from you. And I was like, dude, just take it off the fucking wall. And he's like, I haven't touched it and I refuse to touch it.
Fair.
So the funny thing is like I've showed up to parties at his house, and because I was like working late or something, like I didn't get to the party until like fucking midnight. And I walk into a party, I know him and his partner, no one else, and everybody else is like drunk and stoned and fucking and making out and
As you
doing
do.
whatever.
Right.
And I'm like sitting there and like looking at this painting on the wall, and I like stand up and I go look at it. And I'm like, what the fuck did I put in here? And
Fair, right?
like if I can get fascinated by my own stuff after not seeing it for a while, I think that makes me feel good.
Fair, right?
Um
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. There's just like a lot of details. It shows the mastery of it, and again, all intentional, as you can tell, because it's crafted. I think that's the difference between art as like creative expression and art as like a mastered form. Is when the details you put in are only the ones that you want to and no others, for a specific purpose. And I think that you've hit
yeah.
that. And I think that,
um
that's why people should check you out, is because it's, you're doing solid artwork and it's real fun to look at.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I've told you this story. I feel like I have. Feel like I've told you this story.
All right.
But
Well,
the
our listeners have not had
sort of
all any of our conversations, so
sort of the one of the beginning spawns of where I'm at now with my artwork actually included you. And it it was so fucking weird. Like I was with my then boyfriend.
oh,
And he and I were
Adam,
living
right?
yeah, it was Adam. Yeah, he and I lived together, and it was like just some like random fucking afternoon, and I was like, "Hey, like I was like, I'm kind of hungry. Do you want to go get lunch?" And he was just like, yeah,
I do.
"Where do you want to go?" And I was like, I really just want to go get a burrito." So he's like, "Yeah, I'll go eat a burrito with you." So we walked down the street to El Norte,
El Norte,
which is
not there
sadly
anymore, from
gone.
what I understand. Yeah, no,
It is
such fucking
gone, and
great food.
even their most recent restaurant just recently closed. Like
No.
yeah, it's gone.
I'm sorry for them.
So we go to El Norte and we order our food, and lo and behold, who's sitting there but you?
Yeah, because
So
the Vortex is right down the street from that place.
Vortex was right down the street from
Yeah,
that
it's like,
place.
yeah, it's yeah, like just to walk down the, yeah, street. And we were probably playing games that afternoon. Is that what we invited you to do, is come play games with
Okay,
us?
so basically that's what happened. Is like
Nice.
the two of us showed up, and just to get lunch. And we walk in, and I see you, and I was like, "Hey, can we sit down?" And you're like, "Yeah, totally." So the three of us join each other. With the three of us eat our lunch. We have a conversation. We get up and we go to leave, and we both, like, all three of us, have to walk back in the same direction because we're all going in the same direction. So we get to Glenwood, which is where we would part, and the conversation had led to, "Hey, we're going to play some games tonight. Do you want to come over?" And
Nice.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally fucking down." Adam's like, "I'm going to go home and work on something." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "Do you mind if I, know, hang out with you for a minute?" And He's like, no, 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 go ahead. So he goes home. I go to you, and we go to the vortex, and we play games with whoever the fuck is there. And then as the vortex, people come and go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and
As the
then
vortex
at the
does.
end of the night, I leave and go home. And I don't know if it was like somewhere in that whole process, I thought about what what does that look like on almost like a fucking like metaphysical level, like
Like
what does
people
it look
connecting.
like when you connect with someone, but like you're still you're still your own fucking person. You connect with someone, and then they sort of absorb you for a moment,
Ah,
and then you go over there, and that absorption, the two of you combine for a bit, and then you go your separate ways. But when you go your separate ways, you bring some of that, like one of those bits, like you've intermingled. It's
yeah,
very much
yeah.
like sex. Like it's very
Well,
sexual.
sort of, but also in a different way too, because what you are is not a solid thing. You are a field of electrons and all
Yeah,
of
exactly.
particles that
Yeah,
are just
like
held together by the cohesion. So
yeah.
like walking through space and sharing breath and like stuff like that, I believe that does actually gives us we've locked into the same reality together, and so we have like an intersection, and then our realities, like of course, influence one each other.
And it's very funny that you said that word because that is the title of that piece.
I think that's what it's called, intersections, right?
It's called intersection. Well, there's two. The first one was called intersection. The second one is called intersections.
Nice.
But the
Uh,
first one, but
and you're right. Okay,
intersection
okay.
is
I recognize
it's
that. You see, that was the first.
literally,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're fine. It's just like it's two people coming together, and if you look at the piece, like you're just like, okay, there's these similarities, and then things sort of like change and flow into each other, and then get absorbed and move past, like it starts off as one thing from someone else, but then turns into the other person's thing.
Right, exactly.
But like we all have, we're all made of the same stuff,
Yeah.
even though we all had like different upbringings and whatnot. We still have a place where we were born. We still have a place where we went to school or learned or whatever. We all have these, like, for lack of a better term, onion skins,
Yeah.
and this is just like a vivisection of these two people like coming together.
I need to pull this painting up real quick so everyone can see it. If they're being too lazy to do it, we'll just put it, make sure it's on the pod. Uh, so of course, I do have your website in my history. Is this the one that got bought recently?
This one I still have.
I'm sorry, you might not be looking at the stream. Um, let me. So this is the one that I have. If anyone's wondering, um, which one it is an absolutely beautiful piece. It hung in an office that I was at for a long time. A lot of people have seen this painting, and everyone was fixated by it. It was really hard to have conversations with people around this painting because they would not talk to you; they would talk to the painting. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Um, and so it was nice because one of the things it did is, we had to have like open and honest conversations in that room. So it let people just like do that because I guess the painting was all about, the confessions or whatever. Um, I believe, are you watching the stream?
Possibly.
Okay. Is this intersections?
Oh, hold on. What the fuck is it? It might be on the wrong page or something.
It should have, and maybe I'm not streaming. That would be a silly thing that may have happened. No, it should be up there. You should see the two boxes of our windows, and then there should be something that says like stream. Right now it's a screen looking at all the screens, but
It's a screen looking at all the screens, looking at
Okay,
all the screens, looking at all
so
the
is
screens.
that now? Do you see intersect one of your paintings?
Don't.
Oh, it's the whole time it's just been looking screen upon screens. Okay, I assigned it to the wrong thing. Okay, let me fix that really
Yeah.
quick. I am so sorry. I should have asked if you'd seen that before. You haven't seen any of the work I've been doing in the background, huh? Just screen upon screens.
Yeah.
Uh, Worst host ever, guys. This is why I'm excited about when I have co-hosts because they're much better at making sure that things are not like dumb, like do dumb things like that. Um, Here, there should be a
Now
second.
now I've got this stream has ended.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me do this. This should do it. Um, Let me see. Do you see the painting now?
There we go. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's the that's one that I made after it.
Okay. So this
So
isn't
if
okay.
you go, that's intersections. It's that one.
This one.
Um. Out. Yeah.
Okay, this is, I'm sorry,
Yes.
this was the one I was thinking of, and that I remember that, and because it's a similarity. Yeah, and right, like onion skins overlapping.
Yeah.
So guys, yeah,
Yeah.
um, this is, I mean, besides talking about Cronenberg, this was the reason I wanted you to be on the pod so that people could see some of your artwork. We could talk about like who you are as an artist. So I mean, like, I'm glad that we pulled this one up. This is, I remember you making this piece. I like, it was like right after we had met. That's right, you started working on this one. And as you
Yeah.
guys can see, this is like halfway between where the grunge style is, and then if you remember the piece that is my piece, like what it's evolved into. But you have such intentional moves in this painting. You see the roots of it and how you're like you're moving in a different direction. Uh, I'm a big fan of all your work. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this one.
Thank
You're
you.
like it has grunge and then that the found stuff, but then also layers and the mapping and the dictionaries.
Yeah. One of my. It's funny that you say like grunge to it because I remember working on a piece. I can't remember which piece I was working on, but was very close to finishing it, and uh, my then boyfriend was like came in while I was working on it, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm making it dirty." And but it's so beautiful, and I was like, "No, it's not." Like I was like, "It needs to be dirty." He's like, "You're literally just like darkening up areas and like dumping shit on it." I was like, yeah, life is
Yeah,
disgusting.
right,
like
exactly.
like what the fuck? Like humans are fucking gross people. Like
Well, yeah.
like that's what this is about. Like it's like
The stuff
sure
I
like
appreciated about
you're
your early work is where you've been incorporated bike chains and parts and signs that are
yeah.
bent up and grunge. Like it's just screams the streets, like. And I think at that time you were a bike messenger, right?
I
Um,
was a bike messenger,
yeah,
yeah.
so you were out in the grunge. So you're like, yeah, and so like existing in the city feels exactly like those paintings feel. Um,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
like of course you need that in those paintings because if not, you're not telling the story of where you're at. And that's not to say that it just that's a different time and place, but the way that your work has evolved, incorporating that has just been, yeah, again, so fantastic.
Yeah, like
I think,
I can't make those pieces again.
yeah, different time, different
Cuz
place.
yeah, totally.
But I think the dirtification, the wanting things to be grungy is, why you probably like John Waters films, and then why we also collectively. I wasn't trying to single you out. I also like John Waters films, but I wasn't trying to speak for you. But then also why we both like Cronenberg is because he's calling
Yeah.
out the human condition in such a gritty way that you're disoriented by his movie making, so that you have to listen to him. It's
Yeah, it's beautiful and disgusting all at the same time.
it really is. There is a moment early in stereo where he is using like a symphony to like he is playing in the background, and then a man is delivering a droning speech about psychoses, and then you're seeing like this other man take two adult men. One takes a pacifier from one and then puts the pacifier in his own mouth. So they're like swapping germs, and then they're both laughing about it. And so like he does all these things at the same time. I realize to like disorient the audience in order to give them like a real experience. So they can't like preconceive it because he's overwhelming them with it. And I
Yeah.
think you see that a lot in a lot of his movies. Shrouds does the same thing. He does a really interesting thing with the death of his wife, where he's exploring her grave with a camera, or like it's not really a camera, but it's a 3D render of what her decaying corpse looks like. And it does it early in the movie, and it's just like it cuts to like the body, and there it is in the ground, like all the bones dripping off of, like the flesh dripping off of it and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
It's also interesting to note too that that movie was supposed to have been a television show on Netflix before it was scrapped.
Okay, that makes sense. It does have a more TV feeling. Um,
So each season, remember this correctly, each season was supposed to take place in a different country.
oh, and
So
that's
it
why
was
they're setting up
supposed to,
all those different franchises across the
yeah,
world, and then it ends so abruptly at
yeah,
the end. Okay, that's fair. That's
it
fair.
ends so abruptly, but it's also just like, you know, like I think one of them is like India, and it's just like, okay, well, India is dealing with the fact that, are you desecrating the body by letting people see it decompose?
Interesting.
And
Okay.
like, and there's a couple of those conversations are in the movie.
Kind of like an
Somebody like brings
exploration
it
of
up.
what death is and death as an industry. Yeah, I was seeing that like in the mystery of who desecrated the bodies and dealing with grief was this exploration of like the death industry itself. Gentle,
Oh,
but
it's
kind of like some thoughts
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Well, because the main character of that movie is not only not only just buried his own wife, i.e., Cronenberg,
Right, right.
but he also owns the fucking cemetery that his wife is buried in.
And the restaurant, of course, attached to that. In case you're
The
wondering
restaurant
where the
that's a
Cronenberg part comes in,
Jesus Christ, dude, the fucking restaurant, like that that conversation
where they're on a date
is
in his restaurant.
is fucking awesome. She's like, "You took me on a date at a restaurant in a cemetery. Like,
Okay,
what
so
kind of person are you?" Like,
let's talk about how
oh my
Cronenberg overwhelms
fucking
the
god.
viewer by that conversation, because that conversation is happening where the two of them are sitting in like a very far away shot, like as if you're an eavesdropper to the conversation, and on the two sides of them are these huge shrouds, the things that they wrap the bodies in, that are like looming over them like death heads. Um,
Yeah,
it's a
those
fantastic
were his
shot.
like early
Like
shrouds. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that was the one that I marked. I was like, oh yeah, he knows how to open up a shot. Here, this is important, and he wants you to know it. He doesn't have to like the score is subtle, I think, and it's not even that. It's just like this casual conversation with death looming in the background.
Well, and then later on, he puts one on,
Yeah.
and the person that I can't remember who he was sleeping with at that moment, but like,
Oh, that's interesting that you
as
conflate
there's
that, because the person who responds to him that notices that he's doing that is the AI, his AI assistant called Honey.
oh shit, it is the A. It
Yeah,
is
right.
Honey.
And so that is interesting. I like
Fuck.
it was weird to me because you did see, and it's again, it's a Cronenberg thing where he's making a societal comment that he has a pseudo-sexual relationship with his AI assistant. Um, and it's not sexual, it's more romantic. I misspoke. Because it's not erotic
It's
in any sort of
romantic.
way, but it's this long-term
It's
companion
romantic.
who's been there, and so he kind of retreats into her when he's mourning
Don't
his
give
wife.
anything away about that AI.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess Shrouds is still fairly new, so if you guys haven't seen it, let's just say if I do spoil something, it won't be in the YouTube version. You can check it out on our Patreon.
Because the reveal is fantastic.
That okay? It's interesting that you say that. As soon as the idea of it was introduced and the way that it was introduced, I guess I was kind of like keyed into Cronenberg's language, and I was like, "Oh, I know what's happening." And then I was satisfied with the conclusion because I was like, "Yep, Yep, that's what he
I
promised.
mean, yeah, if you're following through, like I guess you could sort of see it coming.
Well,
Um,
again, he's not one who will throw the premise.
doesn't
Like
need to yeah,
he's like he
doesn't need to
doesn't.
hide things.
Yeah, he what I realized he was doing, and this is one of the things that cued me into it, is he tries to disorient you so much that he'll tell you the truth directly, but you're disoriented, so you don't understand what it means until it does mean something, and then you go, aha, yeah, I do remember you saying
He's
that.
hiding. He's literally hiding things in plain
Literally
view.
hiding it in plain sight. Like the trick, I'm not going to give it away because you said you don't want to watch Brood, but the twist in Brood, which is again about a psychiatrist and this man who's trying to get his wife back from the psychiatrist because he thinks the psychiatrist is doing experiments on his wife, um, is from the very opening shot. Like the thing that the whole twist of the movie you see in the first 30 seconds. And then you're just so like you're like shocked and in horror and skeptical that you don't notice what's going on. And then the conclusion shots you go, oh, holy fuck. Yeah, that's exactly what he said it was going to be. He just delivers it in such a powerful way. And so Cronenberg for me is really master storytelling because that's what I feel like every piece should do. It should have layers in it that like a human being, like like your painting, like peel back, and then as you get to the center of it, you begin to realize how they all fit together.
Yeah, well, and when you watch the Shrouds, like again, like on the surface, it's this movie about basically a guy in a fucking cemetery.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's about this weird thing that happened in a weird fucking cemetery with a weird guy that runs the cemetery and the weird people around him. But
yeah.
overall, it's
And
just
then
like
they're dealing with
again
the
on the
murder
surface,
mystery, which
they're
is
dealing with a
a
murder mystery.
but it's not like a
When
real
you
murder mystery. They don't have like stakes involved because all the people are already dead.
no, when you all you have to do is take one step down, and you realize it's like this guy lost his wife, and everyone talking to him, everyone around him is essentially walking on eggshells around someone that's truly grieving.
Hmm. It's
And
interesting that that's your
when
take
you
from the
when
movie.
you when you take that, I also need to rewatch it. I only saw it once.
Okay. Uh,
But when you look at death itself, and if I mean, I can't recall the last time I went to a funeral, but like that is what people do. Is the people directly involved with the death, whether it's a husband or a wife or like a close family member, like everybody walks on eggshells around those people because they're trying to like figure out where they are. What do you talk about? Do you bring up memories of this person? Do you not bring up memories of this person? Do you talk about something completely different? Do you talk about this person? Like it's dude, going to funerals is one of the wildest ways of people watching
hmm.
ever
That's
because
an interesting
nobody knows
observation,
how to
right?
fucking talk to each other.
Right.
And yet a lot of it is because there's so much family involved, or at
Right.
least a lot of, at least the ones that I've gone to, there's like so much family involved, and family doesn't necessarily like each other, but you
Right.
know each other,
Right.
and then you're like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you since the last death in the family.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, it's like, what have you been up to? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then, 15 years down the line, you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you since grandpa died. Like, like what the fuck? It's just like this really weird, fucked up conversation. And here, like in the Shrouds, like he's friends with his wife's twin sister.
Oh, yeah, that's
And,
right.
and
So
And
of course
that
she's being brought up.
relationship,
Okay, also very Cronenberg to have twins in a movie, so you can
oh,
double cast.
dude, it's and her character's just super fucked up. Like
Yeah, yeah.
she's weird as fuck. The
Well, she gets
one of my
introduced normal, but yeah, the longer she exists in that world, the more like bizarre that character becomes.
my one of my favorite scenes that I can recall from it is when he introduces the blind woman to the twin
Oh yeah.
because she's walking a dog and she's just on the other side of this fence and the funny thing is like she's very much her character is very similar to Kristen Stewart's in uh uh Crimes of the Futures. Like she's kind of stilted, she talks weird, like she's off, like
Okay.
she's just fucking
Yeah, it
off.
definitely seems Cronenberg's type, right?
And like he's like talking to her like I've known her for years and blah 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 blah. And meanwhile, there's this fucking blind woman who throughout the entire movie you're like, is this chick really fucking blind?
That's a good, yeah, right. I guess that's, I hadn't
You
thought
know,
about that. It is a good question though. She is manipulative in a lot of ways, so
she's manipulative as fuck, and you're just like, can she see? She can see, but can she physically see? It's that play, and
well, then
it's
also
that
they introduced that it's degenerative, so she's not even fully blind, but like the question of how much can she see, yeah, is the case. Um, I I I don't know if you remember the ending, but it does end with them a very fantastic like flight into the sunset is the final shot. And
yeah,
that's one of the things for me. It seems like he had the opportunity to play with. Um, that he was in some sort of like death, like digital death coma or something like that. You know what I mean? So like somehow this had all become like in the because since he put on the shroud, this is where I thought the movie was going. Since he put on the shroud, he was actually like he converted his mind into like a storage space so that he could live on, but only in the crypts kind of idea. I definitely thought that's where the movie was going to land. And so like when it hit they flew off into the sunset, it becomes really like this like spectacular kind of ending for the rest of the movie, the way that it is. I was like, I wonder if that's where it like subtextually has gone. Um,
well,
does
also
that seem
that's the
off
thing
base?
too, is like also just sort of said it is like you said the movie lands, but it doesn't. It literally flies off.
Yeah, it flies off, and like there is a point that it all makes sense, and then it just like the last like quarter of that movie seems to go in a very different place, and that's why I think that it's like it feels like existence. You know what I mean? Like
But
he like
his movies do that. His movies totally do that. Like fucking going all the way back to Scanners, the last third of that movie, you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
well, he goes for in the last third of his movie, he goes for the clincher, and this is what I love about him is that he's driving whatever his point is home, and that's where I feel like I feel like he did, and then he didn't get to do finding out that it was supposed to be a series that he didn't get to do the ending that he was actually shooting for, which may have been like
Correct.
like all these cemeteries were his dream, and he's actually networked through them and seeing all these people. Like I feel like his wife would probably come back, like that sort of stuff.
His wife doesn't need to come back. She has a twin.
Oh, right, right, okay, of course. And then her twin, that could be the explanation for it. Her twin exists, because he's in that dream. That's a good angle. Yeah, good pointing out. And maybe that's what the thing is that
Also,
he's
not
going for.
I'm gonna try not to spoil anything, but there's a specific scene with the twin that everybody in the theater, like, if there was a moment that everybody, you're in a movie theater, you're trying to be quiet, and the place that I saw it, Music Box, like every for the
Oh,
most
fun.
part, everybody's very respectful. Like, no phones, like they'll
Well,
kick you the
they're
fuck
enjoying
out
the
for
the
phones.
film. Yeah, that's why you go to the music
Yeah,
box. Yeah.
everybody there is like they're they're there for the experience of the film, and you could almost just hear during this one scene a collective "what the fuck."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure all the question marks were literally in place, right? Like,
Like just literally in place. And I remember seeing it with some good friends of mine, and we're just like, are you fucking serious? Like it, and that's the thing that Cronenberg can do,
yeah, so
is
again, and I think
he could just get you to this point that you're just like, what the fuck? And yet it's fine.
but it makes
It's
sense in the context of the movie, and that's where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that, like, especially for him, he's like, he's like, I don't want to spell it out for them, I don't want them like that, but I'm pretty sure that he's doing that, like he's hinting to the fact that there is something else going on, like it is so weird, but it's not without reason.
right, right. And in all of his movies, like, when you do, there's multiple what the fuck scenes in multiple of his movies,
Fair.
but like you accept it because the characters accept it. They roll with the punches, so you just sort of do as well.
Yeah, and then also I would say that it goes further because you could say that about most movies. Like the characters will do what's written in the script, and the acting will like support it. And Cronenberg's actually over the years has had actors in his movies that are not like great actors. That's not to talk about Naomi Watts or Viggo Mortensen. He definitely, especially later, he's gotten some really fantastic ones. In
Right.
um, but he supports it himself from inside the story, like it doesn't it has its own internal logic, and he understands what he's trying to do specifically, and he does pull it off. So that's why I always have to give it to him. Like I've seen a bunch of his movies now, and there's a huge more I want to see of him. We'll probably have to come back and talk some more Cronenberg at some point. um but the thing about him is that even the craziest premise that, like, in the beginning I'm like, yeah, that's weak. Like Brood, definitely, like, it's a sleeper because it doesn't feel good. Most of the movie just does not feel good, where you're like, yeah, I think you're making a bunch of like illogical choices right now. As soon as he pulls the last third of the movie, it like stands up and you're like, oh, I see where you're coming from all those things. And I feel like that I think that Shrouds doesn't have that conclusion because he was planning a bigger project.
Because he was planning a bigger project.
Yeah, I think that
Um,
in the bigger project, it would we would be like, oh, okay, cool. He's actually in this place and does this thing. It's kind of like the Twin Peaks thing, like what happens, not
yeah,
the new
yeah, yeah,
series,
yeah.
but the original series. You're just like, it just got pulled too early to like get the conclusion.
Um, Dude, if you ever want to go on a deep dive with me with Twin Peaks, please let me know.
Oh my God. Actually,
I
we we should do Cronenberg. We should get
fucking
together and talk Twin Peaks. Because that would be a
dude,
fun
I
conversation. I have to catch up on it because I haven't seen it in like, yeah, like 20 years, like 15 years, something like that.
so you haven't seen The Return or whatever the fuck
And
they're
I haven't
calling it?
watched the new one either. No, no. Yeah, so it would be
Oh
fun.
my fucking god.
Oh man, I
Oh
just
my god.
committed to watching a whole lot of TV, so I don't know how soon that's going to be. But
All I'm gonna say I'm gonna say three things about season
three,
three
one,
slash The
one thing,
Return
three
slash
things. Okay.
whatever the fuck. First of all, it is an 18-hour movie. It is an
Yeah,
18-hour
100%.
movie.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you're concluding Fire Walk with Me.
I'm not including
Oh,
Firewalk
okay.
with Me. I am just including the return. I don't know what else to fucking call it. I'm
Oh,
gonna
I'm
call it
sorry.
The
You talking
Return.
about the new one?
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
one.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and which is fair
It is.
because the
It is.
original series also. I mean, you should watch it consecutively. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It is the Return is an 18-hour movie
Wow.
broken up into 18 parts.
Oh my God.
One of those parts is 1 hour of some of the best television I have ever fucking watched.
Wow.
To the point that recently, like a couple months ago, actually, the Music Box did a another David Lynch retrospective, and they showed episode 8 as like feature.
Oh
Like
wow.
it was like part of it. It was like we're gonna you if you come to this, we're gonna after you watch this, we're gonna play episode 8 on the big screen. And I was just like, this is insane. This
That
is
that's cool.
and
Yeah.
and and,
Yeah.
and in an hour there's maybe 20 minutes of talking. Um and it's like bookended by
Uh,
talking.
okay.
It's
All right. That's
fucking
legit.
insane.
Th
The other
Wow.
thing is that it is very much a fever dream.
Of
Like
course it is.
the
David Lynch.
entire the
That's why I would be hesitant to tackle David Lynch because what can you say? I mean, like he does have some very pretty and some very interesting concepts. I'm sorry, pretty shots and interesting concepts. But most of David Lynch's films come down to they're either dead or they're insane. Um,
it comes down to fugue state.
okay, there, yeah, a state of insanity. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which
100%.
oddly enough, Naomi Watts.
Okay, I mean, okay. She's like, we
She's
already
in
did this
like
movie in Mulholland Drive. Let's do it again. Um,
she did Mulholland Drive. She's in The Return. Uh, yeah. Also, just for anyone listening, I love Naomi Watts, and one of the things that and one of the reasons I said what I said earlier about her is because of and I feel like you were in the room when I did this. I can't recall if you were there or not. I sort of forced funny games on a group of friends one night.
oh my God, Jack.
Um, and
It
it
is a good
was, I
movie.
think
I mean, she's good in it.
she's good in it, but I forced the original
Oh my God.
on,
Isn't
I
it?
like on
It's a foreign
a
film.
group of people. It's a foreign film. It's the same director. Like he remade his own movie into an
Yeah.
American version with
So
Naomi
yeah,
Watts.
yeah.
But I yeah, we were doing like movie nights and somebody like so I think it was Franzen was just like, "Hey, Jack, do you want to like bring a movie over tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally." And I was like, can I bring whatever the fuck I want?" And he was like, "Yeah, just bring over a movie." And all I did was preempt it with, "Hey, this is technically a horror movie." And people were like, "Yeah, whatever, we'll watch it."
Oh my
And
God. It's a home invasion horror
halfway
movie. It's a
through the
very
movie,
different type.
dude, oh my God, I think there were 10 people watching the movie and 9 of them were like, except for Franzen, was just like, what the fuck are you showing us right now? And I was like, you don't have to keep watching.
Right, right.
It is honestly, sorry, Funny Games is one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
Um,
fantastic. The original, of course.
it is, yeah, the original. And I do like the remake. I have both copies. Because they each do something, they both tell the same story, but they do it each in a very, very, very slightly different way. Um, but there's a scene in the American version, and mind you, it's essentially done shot for shot. That there's a specific scene in the American version that I think is done better than the original French version.
Nice. Well, he had a bit like the same thing with Cronenberg. He had the ability to learn between Shivers and Rabid. Um,
Absolutely,
so like he
absolutely.
fantastically took notes and did that. Hey Jack, we actually got so caught up in this conversation. We actually are in the wrap up of the show, where we have like the
Yeah,
last like
for sure.
10 minutes or so. Man, it's been great having you on. Talking. This was a great idea to talk Cronenberg because first of all, I had to do like more watching of movies, and then also discovered a lot of cool stuff about a director that I thought I knew, and then of course, just he's there's a lot of material like to like even if you're like yeah I know Cronenberg, you're never gonna watch the same movie twice. Even like
Never,
ones
never.
that are called the same not title, it's not the same movie. So do you have any like wrap up thoughts on Cronenberg in general, or like high recommended movies, scenes from this these different shows or movies?
Um, I I'm gonna say this about Cronenberg. If you watched a movie and you hated it, rewatch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give yourself the moment to fully immerse yourself and let the movie wash over you, and then break it apart later.
Right, yeah,
Because the
exactly.
first
I don't think it's fair in a
and,
Cronenberg movie to sit with your arms
and
crossed. Like you need it to be
oh,
what it, you need to fully experience what it is so that even if you do
and
hate it, you know why.
the reason I say that is because I'm just gonna do a very short list here. Scanners,
Hmm.
first watch, hated it,
Why?
love it now.
Okay, so
Scanners,
why did you first hate
it just
Scanners?
because it's slow as fuck.
It is true. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't pay off, and it's very confusing as to like why people are able to explode each other with their minds, right?
Yeah, wait, did you just explode his head? What the fuck? Also, great exploding
I
head.
mean, fantastic.
Um,
Like, of course, remarkable cinema right there. But I could see, yeah, if
Rabid,
you like, especially if you're not ready for a Cronenberg movie or you don't know what you're about to get into, like if you didn't go into that movie planning to watch it, you probably aren't ready for it. And you should go back
yeah.
and rewatch it. Yeah, okay, fair.
Um,
Okay.
like Rabid, the first time I watched it, I didn't hate it. I was just like, oh, it's just he just redid Shivers. But then I recently rewatched it again, actually on the big screen, and I was
Oh,
like,
gotcha. Did they
oh,
get rabies
this,
instead?
this is actually better. It's rabies, but
Okay.
that's not what the movie. That's not what the movie's about. Like, and I actually I had to look it up because I was just like, what the fuck is this movie actually about? Um,
What is it actually
I
about?
wanted to go. It is basically about a woman not feeling comfortable with herself to have sex.
Okay.
And the funny thing is it's one of the hottest fucking porn stars out there.
That's, of
And
course, Cronenberg irony.
there's a point in the movie where she says, I'm not attractive.
Hmm.
And the funny and just a very quick little side note about
Yeah.
that movie. He David Cronenberg originally wanted Sissy Spacek to play that part,
Huh. Okay.
and it would have been a completely different fucking movie. The reason
100%.
he didn't get yeah, the reason he didn't get Sissy Spacek to do the movie is because she was too busy making Carrie.
Good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes things work out. Like you don't
Um,
get Nicolas Cage as Superman, and sometimes you don't get Sissy Spacek in a David Cronenberg movie playing the porn star role.
yeah. But, um, there was another one that I watched. Like I said earlier, like the first time I watched Crimes of the Future, I didn't like it. The second time I watched it, loved it.
Right, right.
Like his movies are not meant to feel good. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
they're
If you
meant
want to
to
go to a
make you
movie,
think.
yeah, yeah. If you want to go to a movie for like just, pure like popcorn entertainment, you want to fill a couple hours, that's cool, but that's
Do
mostly
not
never
go
going to
see a
be
Cronenberg
not
movie.
mainly. I would say Eastern Promises is real fun as far as like an action movie is. But that's an exception to the
Yeah,
rule with Cronenberg for sure. Because he's not making movies for pure entertainment. He's making films to talk about stuff. Um,
yeah.
like things that are worrying
You could
him.
go see the fly. You can go see the Fly.
Yeah, The Fly is a fun sci-fi horror movie, but also it has that bent to it. Like, what is man when you take away his restrictions? He becomes a very carnal beast who, doesn't care about people and is, sadistic. Is what that
Yeah,
story is about. So I guess you can watch that. But you're gonna see, yeah, it's the same again, right?
but at the same time, like again, all of his movies you can watch them on the surface as one thing,
Yeah.
but when you really think about them, he's saying something way more. than what you're initially looking at. And that's why,
Hands
and
down.
that is why I'm like, if you've watched it once, watch it again, because the second watch you might actually understand what the fuck he's talking about. You might not, because who knows?
Yeah,
You
who
know,
knows?
like,
Yeah, like I would say, yeah, Shrouds, the conclusion is more like Mulholland Drive, than it is like a lot more Cronenberg. Um, and what, how can you conclude a film about death, really, anyway? So that's why I believe that it ends with his death, and he like kind of lives out what he wants with it. Like I think the villain in that movie, if you can call it that, may have killed him when they had that secret meeting where he shows him that he's missing fingers. Um,
yeah,
so I think that's what that scene actually represents, but there's nothing that really, there's no evidence that I have for that. So you'll just have to take that as speculation at this point. Um,
right. Like,
but
I love like Videodrome, but every time I watch that movie, I feel like I get something out of it every time.
Right, yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing with great art is that it's not meant to be a single experience. It's meant to even when the artist comes back to it in the middle of a party where people are fucking and drunk and high, that you get as the artist get captivated by it as well because there's so much in it. To use a specific example from today's conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I there's, somebody once told me that like a friend of his, he showed a friend of his like my artwork, and they were like, anybody can fucking make this, and he was just like, Psh, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead and
And
try it.
there's a lot of people that can say, they're like, oh my god, anybody can just fucking make that, but it's like, yeah, go ahead and make it, and
Right. Yeah. I mean,
it's not going to be the
I
same.
guess it's true, right? The thing about, movies is that anybody has the ability to make it. But the fact is that generally people don't. And they rarely execute it with the precision that is necessary for conveying an idea. And that's
Right.
yeah.
And that alone, that line right there is exactly what it is that an artist is always trying to get across an idea, whether that idea is super tiny and like obvious, or uh just like a single idea, or it's like this greater thing that they want you to really like sit on and think about and look at it, like both internally and externally. Like, there's that play. And as someone that makes art, like, there's so many things that I look at and I'm like, is that done? Like,
Is it
is
said the
that
things that I wanted to
finished?
say? Right. Yeah. Have I taken it to
Yeah,
the point that it's fully expressed?
yeah, is it saying what I want it to say? And like, I've talked to people about stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I really like this piece. I don't like this part of it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, you don't have to like that part of it. That's not the point." And like, like, there's a lot of maps in my work.
Right.
They're in almost everything. Not everything, but they're in almost everything.
Interesting.
And because and again, it sort of spawns back to an earlier piece of mine, which is I did like a bunch of pieces called "You Are Here,"
Oh yeah.
and somebody asked me, they were just collages, very 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 simple collages, and my childhood friend, like my first friend that I ever knew of,
Right.
asked me what they were about, and I gave her three sentences, and I was just like, "Things happen. There are reasons. You are there."
Hmm. And you were there. Yeah. I am.
And she didn't fully understand. Are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay. Um, sorry, one of my headphones died. That's why. Um, and
mine's about to also. We're gonna
she,
have to wrap up pretty quick here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's the thing is like you're there. Like you're part of it. You're there. So that's why there's like maps there is because people exist in those places and things happen because of it. And it's yeah, just there's just layers to everything. I don't,
Well, and
no
good art
artist
should
is just
have
like,
layers to it. Yeah, because there is the human experience is not one thing. It's very complex. But it is, I mean, we all experience this complexity together. And I think that
yeah,
that's why, like, even as a horror director or as an action star, like he makes movies that make you feel squeamish, but I think he expresses the human experience. And Jack, I think you're doing that too. Um, Thank you so much for being here. Let's get out off before we both get embarrassed and our headphones die in the middle of the pod.
yeah.
But we can hang out after as I can switch to another set of but guys,
Oh,
if
it's
you're
so
tuning in
funny.
tonight, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. If you like this sort of content and you're catching on YouTube, you can comment, share, like as you do with podcasts. And then you can check us out, Cox and Space for all the other ways. Please check out Jack McLaughlin at Mixed Media Art, mixedmediajack.art. And support him by buying paintings. His prints don't really do justice to the work. I have a couple of his works, so please buy the originals because they're amazing. So Jack, any last thoughts before we close out?
I just want to say thank you so much for letting me do this. This
Oh, I'm
has
so
been
glad to have you
awesome.
on, man. We're gonna have to do another get together. I'm not sure exactly what, and maybe we'll have you on another pod just to talk about life in general because we do have a couple of different channels. We talk politics and social justice on Drawing with Jack, and we talk like psychedelics and the mental experience, human mental experience on Chandler. So um, they are really
Oh,
fun
nice.
shows. Yeah, we always get to have fun conversations. But we're gonna close this one out. It's me here with Jack McLaughlin, my good friend Skip Marazzi, and it's the Cox and Space podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.